The business is to help persons to not only maintain a healthy lifestyle but to adopt it. Alright? So I want to show you today how it is very possible for persons living with Down syndrome, how they can use this healthy lifestyle to presume competence and prepare for inclusion. Okay, so what does this really mean? What does presume competence really mean? And I'm not talking to myself, so I'm going to be asking you the question. So one person who is bold enough can tell me what they think about that, what they think presuming competence is. Anybody? Somebody? Oh, there must be someone that can give me an explanation. Even if it's just one word. Everybody is so shy. Let me come around here. Hello. Your name is? Don't worry, I'm not going to put your mic close to your mouth. Don't get scared. Yes. So, I want to hear from you. What do you think presumed competence is? Just in one word. Don't have to be fancy, nothing.
I think it's just thinking that the person has some type of some ability to do something when they might really have it, or you're thinking that they're not able to do something when they probably able to do it.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. So she's saying that this is thinking you can do something even if you're not sure you can do it. Yeah? So, presume. Presume is to expect or believe. Yes, you agree? Competence, the ability to do something successfully. And prepare, this preparation can be mental or it can be physical, or both. Prepare, create in advance. And then we have inclusion. Inclusion is just to be involved in the society or the social structures within the society. So, remember I said before in the very beginning that healthy lifestyle is an important part of nutrition. So, I want to hear from you, another person, and I'm coming to you in the audience. What do you think a healthy lifestyle is? If I have a hand, I will go to that person. If not, I will just come to someone. Healthy lifestyle, what's that about? Yes, finally. Do you want the mic? Oh, don't worry, that's fine. Excellent.
Right, to exercise. You do the general things that are needed to make sure you walk, stuff like that.
Well, I could let you finish because this is all my slides right here. You're pretty much presenting for me, but she is correct. So, healthy lifestyle. So let's go into what healthy lifestyle is. So, for me, healthy lifestyle encompasses 4 things. And the first thing I have here is nutrition. Right? Nutrition, exercise. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding training, but exercise, it can be basketball, it can be just taking a run, it can be swimming, it can be getting involved in any activity that is your preference. Alright? And actually, in the picture, I'm not sure if you know who this person is, but his name is Colin Clark, and he has Down syndrome, and he is a bodybuilder, and he competes. So this is a perfect example of someone who believes in their ability to be successful at something, and is actually doing it. And he is now involved in the bodybuilding society, so that is inclusion, right? So now for the third thing is stress. So stress and sleep. So the 4 things that really make up what a healthy lifestyle is proper nutrition, exercise in whatever form you like, and less stress, more sleep. Not sleeping all the time, but just proper sleeping habits. Alright? So here I want to take it just one by one and show you how each one individual thing can help a person with Down syndrome or disability to believe in their own ability to do something successful and therefore be able to be included in the social structures or the more specific society as a whole. So we have a study from Harvard School, and they made the point that there is a correlation between persons who eat properly or have proper eating habits and persons and the loss of body fat. Now this might not seem totally significant, but it is, because as we know, obesity could be one of the complications that a person who is disabled or who might have a disability might face, right? So, and if you don't think nutrition is that important, over here, okay, there's supposed to be a beaming light here now, but I'm not seeing this, it's not working. That's okay. So there is a Journal of Education and Training, and they talk about the effects of weight loss, and they talk about how that affects a person's self-esteem and the appearance esteem. Now, the study was not done with persons who have Down syndrome, but the study was done with some athletes. But it doesn't matter, because the information or the knowledge that we gained from it was still applied, because they found that the athletes who lost body fat actually had a higher level of confidence and went about doing everything differently from persons who did not lose body fat. They were more shy, they kind of, was a bit more introverted type personality. Yes, so then we have another study here. But this one is similar because it discussed so much the relationship between self-esteem and how you eat, right? And they say here that in this study, the conclusion was, after this 12-week study, that persons who had unhealthy eating habits, it actually affected how they felt about themselves. Yeah? And don't you feel that way sometimes? Like if you eat something bad that you wake up feeling the next day like, oh, would I eat that? And you feel like a little bit low. I see some people nodding like they don't want to say anything. That's fine, you don't have to say anything. But they're nodding like, I know how you feel. So we have SpongeBob. I know you all know SpongeBob, even if you don't watch it or you pretend not to watch it. I watch it sometimes. I'm not ashamed of that. So again, so unhealthy diet and behaviors can lead to low self-esteem. Right, so let's go on to exercise now. And exercise really affects so much. And not just in terms of the person's physical capabilities, but for example, here they study in a university in the UK, and they talked about the effects of physical activity on men and women. And some of what the study revealed was that doing this, people getting involved in physical activity can cause the building of muscle, and you know that low muscle tone could be a complication with a person that has Down syndrome or disability. Yes? Yeah. So it also improves heart health, it slows down osteoporosis, and it helps build memory and concentration. And that's important because, as we would have said before, that Down syndrome and other mental disabilities would benefit muchly from exercise. Right? Now, here again, in the picture here, is the same person I was talking about before, Colin Clark. And as a result of this study, there was something else that was really important that they found, which I thought, it made me think of him so much. And in the study, they found at the very end of the study, what was their main finding was that exercise enhances feelings of competence. Competency, and that's what we're talking about today. It makes you feel as if you accomplished something. And I'm not sure if we have persons here who take part in just exercise. But don't you sometimes go to exercise and before you start exercising you probably feel like, oh, I don't really want to be here. Or, where did I get my bed this morning? I don't want to do this run. But by the end of the run you feel like, oh, I feel good. If you go home feeling upbeat and then the rest of your day is just on cloud 9 from there. So this is an example of that. And more so, not just I'm speaking about Colin Clark, it's not just that he now feels that he accomplished something, but he is involved now in something that persons usually with a disability or Down syndrome would not be involved in. So now this is a perfect example of someone who has now been included, or that inclusion that we're referring to today as a part of the theme, right? So I actually have at the very end of my presentation, have a video of him so you can actually, this is a very short 3-minute video. This is exciting because here this is a more direct link to exercise and how you feel. And exercise causes the neurotransmitters in your brain to actually make you feel good. And the endorphin, serotonin, dopamine, these are just 3 of the more popular feel-good hormones, right? And there are studies that show that when you actually train, whether it be weight training, whether it be running, swimming, or whatever your exercise preference of choice would be, it shows that it actually lifts your mood. It makes you feel better, right? So, we have two guys here playing basketball, and I use this picture for a reason, because they're doing it in the presence of sunlight. And sunlight has vitamin D, and vitamin D, not only does it help strengthen bones that are soft, which could be a benefit for a person with disability, but it also causes your dopamine levels to rise, and that is also a feel-good hormone. So in 2 different ways, you're seeing how exercise, whether it be in sunlight or exercise in general, can actually make a person feel good if you actually having to actually do anything. It's just a chemical reaction in your brain that happens automatically when you exercise. Less stress. So there's a book written by Dr. Andrew Burham, and he outlines that stress reduction can enhance emotional well-being if you can just de-stress. So in the book, he makes the perfect point that if you engage in positive lifestyle changes, I have a picture here of someone meditating, but you don't have to be meditating. It could be just doing something that makes you feel relaxed. And this can cause you to feel less stress, and therefore, if you're feeling less stress, you have a heightened sense of emotional well-being. And don't you agree that this is a very important part of a person believing in themselves, having that feeling of emotional wellness? Yes? Yes. I can hear some nods. Before I wasn't getting anything. So I'm happy, I'm going to take that. Okay, so this is actually the second last slide, and this is about sleep. Proper sleeping patterns. And how does this really play a role in helping a person to be better or to achieve anything or to believe in themselves well? These are 2 different books by 2 different authors. I think I'm doing something here wrong. I must be doing something wrong. So sleep. So in this first study, we have 2 doctors, and both of them have done extensive research on anti-aging, hormones, and they both make the point that when you exercise, when you sleep, when you have proper sleeping habits, you actually have an increase in your growth hormones. And your growth hormones help control your muscle tissue and breakdown. So because, as we would have mentioned before, that low muscle tone is already an issue, this is something that you really want to manage. You want to manage your sleep patterns, because this can actually help you to promote physical wellness. And without physical wellness, you're really nowhere, because if you don't have physical wellness, you can't do anything. You can't really be involved in, so this is a very important factor. And in the next book by Scott Shoemaker, and he is a neurologist in California, practicing for over 35 years. And, he makes the very important point also that poor sleeping patterns can affect your mental abilities. It can also lead to mental illnesses. So he makes the point in his book, he makes many points, but the main one that really stood out for me was that when we sleep, and you can see here on this side, when we sleep, the brain processes and it absorbs everything you do during the course of the day. Right? Now this can help to enhance memory, cognitive abilities. So, and this is something that is very important if a person is to achieve successfully anything at all, right? So, what does all of this really mean? Everything that I just said, what does that really mean? So, just to bring everything together for you, a healthy lifestyle encompasses nutrition, exercise, less stress, more sleep. So we would have seen during the presentation that you can gain high self-esteem, self-confidence, positive moods, physical wellness, competency, better social interaction, a greater sense of emotional wellness and well-being, and mental wellness. And these things are all important if a person living with Down syndrome or a person with disability, if they are to believe in their ability to do things successfully and therefore mentally and physically preparing for social inclusion. And that is my final slide. But I really want to leave you off with the person I was speaking about or referring to during the course of my presentation, Colin Clark. And again, he's the bodybuilder with Down syndrome. And yes, so I'll have a seat and let you enjoy this video. It's a very short video.